Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. The case that I'm going to be looking into today is the strange disappearance of Jenna Van Gelderen. She was just 25 years old when she disappeared from what is believed to be her parents' home. Of course, we'll get into it and you'll find out all the information. She disappeared in 2017 and nobody knows what happened to her to this day. This case was suggested by Ghost, so thank you for that. I appreciate any suggestions you guys have. And of course, if you have any more, do let me know. Jenna was from Atlanta, Georgia, born to her mother, Rosanna, and her father, Leon. Jenna also did have a brother too. By all accounts, the family was really close. She had a really good relationship with them, you know, and they absolutely adored each other. Jenna was described as being bubbly, very funny. She was social, and again, she just loved spending time with her family and friends. Now, she had recently moved out of her parents' house to gain a bit of independence, and she moved into this apartment, but apparently she didn't actually spend a lot of time in there. So she had a roommate as well, but rather than sleep there, she would often be out at friends or even at her parents' house. You know, it was quite rare that she slept there. From quite an early age, her parents said that she was quite a challenging kid, and they found out that she had autism early on. She would ask a lot of questions. That's how her autism came out. She always needed clarification on everything, and Jenna was a very vulnerable person. Like, she was independent, obviously she'd moved out and everything, but when it came to like making friends, she just really wanted to go out there and make friends with loads of different people, and it's what she aspired to do. Because she asked a lot of questions, it's something that she did struggle with. They would unfortunately find her, I don't know, not my words, please don't take this as me saying it, it's what I've read that they said, other people have said, but they would find her irritating because she asked a lot of questions, but that was just her. And it's really sad, but they did find her irritating and obviously wouldn't want to be a friend because of that. And she felt, I don't know, she would try really hard to make friends because she struggled with it, and then she would fall in with the wrong people and she didn't know if they were genuine or not. So she would like do anything for them so that they would be a friend. And a lot of people took advantage of that and made her do, you know, things that were awful and that she wouldn't normally do. She was a stickler for sticking to a routine as well as asking all the questions. She was like, knew every birthday, every anniversary, you know, she just knew it all and would remember things like that so easily. And her mother again said that Jenna was very gullible because she would desperately want to make friends, would just struggle to see if somebody was actually genuinely wanting to be her friend or if they saw it as an opportunity to take advantage of her, and that is what she struggled to see the line between, and whether they were just a nice person or not. And it did mean that she did fall into the wrong crowd sometimes. Jenna studied at Georgia Gwinnett College for 3 years before she ended up dropping out and transferring to Gwinnett Technical College. She earned a certificate in office administration there in 2016. And that was the same year that she was actually diagnosed with autism. She had previously been diagnosed with a learning difficulty from quite a young age, but then it was narrowed down to autism. About 6 months before she went missing, Jenna became quite secretive from her parents, and Leon, her father, had Jenna on his phone contract. She also had another phone that they didn't actually know about. She moved out of the family home and didn't tell them where she was going to live. And then Jenna actually had a job at a pet shop. I believe she'd worked there for 3 years, and then she was fired from it because she was stealing off them. So basically, it seems like some friends of hers were trying to get her to steal little bits of money. Her father went through her bank accounts and found little bits of payments here, there and everywhere, and it totaled to $3,000. So the pet shop, she actually signed a certificate to say that she had stolen $3,000 off this pet shop company, and then she was fired. So she ended up with a criminal history because of that when she was charged with misdemeanor theft. Now, as a result of that and wanting to protect his daughter, Leon went into her phone records. She was really angry by his sort of infringement on her privacy. Again, it was the best intention. He was just worried about her But that is why she ended up moving out. That's why she got her apartment. And then she didn't tell them where it was. That was when she purchased her second phone contract. So again, she had the 2 phones. That wasn't under her dad's name. It was under her name. She didn't tell him about it, and it was so that he couldn't check up on her, so she could keep it all a secret. Jenna did actually have a boyfriend as well. Leon began asking her, like, who were the people that she was talking to, etc., because he wanted to protect her. She was vulnerable. She'd put her trust in the wrong people, and that is why she was fired from a job. Well, it's believed that's why she was fired, but, you know, that's what's thought to have happened. So yeah, the relationship between her and her dad was kind of deteriorating a little bit. Trust issues, things like that. Then we come to the time that she actually went missing. She was house sitting her parents' house. They were out on holiday and they had this elderly cat, 21-year-old cat to be exact, and it was poorly. And so she had grown up with this cat. She was 25, so, you know, they'd had it a long time. She adored this cat, and so she was house sitting, you know, looking after her pet and the house. They lived in Druid Hills in Atlanta, Georgia, and they had gone on a trip to Canada. On the 18th of August 2017, Jenna left the house to go meet a friend. That was around about 10:30. It is known that Jenna got back at 1:15 when she called another friend and spoke to her, so they know that, you know, it was definitely her at 1:15. Jenna went on to text the same friend at 2:15 a.m. and she told her that she was going to bed for the night. So that would have then been on the 19th technically. Obviously it's 2 a.m. in the morning, so it was the 19th. From then onwards, there is nothing outgoing from Jenna's phone whatsoever. And it was on the 19th that the vet was actually booked to come see the cat. The vet arrived, knocked on the door. They were doing a house call, of course. They knocked on the door and they received no answer. So this vet called Jenna's brother, and Jenna's brother came round. He let them in. You know, the cat got the medicine it needed. And when they went in, all of the lights were on, like upstairs, downstairs. They were all turned on. The TV was also left on, and there was just no sign of Jenna. Not only that, the doors were unlocked and the cat had not been fed. Jenna wasn't there. It was just so strange. Like, where on earth had she gone? When nobody heard from Jenna the next day, you know, her brother went ahead and reported her as missing. It really was out of character for her, especially to leave the cat that she absolutely adored, that she had grown up with. That was poorly. It's something she would never do. She was there to babysit the cat, essentially, and she wouldn't leave it like without any food or anything like that. It was really, really weird. And she knew that it needed its medication and she just wasn't there when it needed it. Not only that, she'd left her personal items inside. Jenna carried a carrier bag around with her and it had her toiletries in, it had everything in, and that was her go-to bag that she literally took everywhere with her. And that was left in the bathroom. And that was so abnormal for her, something that she would have certainly taken if she'd gone out. Obviously, Jenna's phone was gone. Her car was gone as well. She had a blue Mazda and that was, you know, nowhere to be found either. But her charging cable had been left at home too. Her parents came back home, obviously, and when they got in, they noticed that Jenna's shoes that she would wear all of the time were exactly where she normally put them. And if she had gone out, she hadn't used them, which was strange because those were everyday shoes. She wore them all of the time and they were still there. They also noticed that this Egyptian tapestry was missing. So they had it in glass up on the wall in the living room and it was big and it was heavy. Somebody had taken it down, smashed the glass, pulled the tapestry out and replaced it back on the wall. Now it's believed that it would have at least taken 2 people for that to occur. And it didn't have any monetary value, really. It was more sentimental. So the family did wonder why it was taken. But this is a personal opinion. If somebody sees something like that on the wall, they may believe that it is worth money because they don't know. Do you know what I mean? So maybe whoever took it thought that it was worth money even though, or it might have been worth money even though it wasn't. So maybe that's why they took it, because it's very strange. People wonder why they took that over things that were worth more money in the house. But again, if you don't know those kinds of things and you see that and you think, wow, you know, that might be worth a lot of money, I'm going to have that kind of thing. That's maybe what they thought. They basically believed that Jenna left unwillingly. Her shoes were there, her phone charger was there, and then you have a toiletry bag, which to somebody else that didn't know Jenna would just think that it was a bag of rubbish. But they knew that Jenna took it everywhere and it wasn't a bag of rubbish. It was everything she needed was in that bag. And she kept things close to her, and these kinds of things that were left behind would not have normally been left behind under normal circumstances. Leon went on to say that he felt like somebody had staged it to make it look like she had actually grabbed a bag and gone. Her suitcase was missing from her bedroom, and it was like somebody took that thinking that that would make them think that Jenna ran away, when in fact this bag of toiletries that Jenna would have taken if she wanted to leave was still left there. 2 weeks after Jenna disappeared, they found her car, and they really hoped that it would bring some evidence. It really uplifted everyone. They honestly thought that it would bring some new light and they would find something. Her dark blue 2010 Mazda 6 sedan was found on the 5th of September. It was parked alongside this road northwest of Atlanta, and a woman basically called in to say that she had found this car because she had seen information regarding Jenna's disappearance on a social media site, recognized the car from that because obviously they were looking for it, and then called it in. Jenna was quite a small woman. She was 4'11", and I literally have to sit on top of the steering wheel to drive because my legs are too short to reach the pedals. And when they found this car, the seat was pushed really far back, like somebody else had been driving it, like Jenna hadn't been driving it, because she just wouldn't have been able to reach those pedals if she was driving it at the time. And therefore police don't believe that Jenna was the one that drove the car there. Jenna's suitcase, shoes, wallet and glasses were found in the car. There were also shoes and a charger belonging to an unknown person inside. But both of Jenna's phones were still missing. One was T-Mobile registered in her father's name, and the other was an Android registered in her own name. Despite that and all the hopes, they were dashed because they didn't really find anything else in the car that gave them any new information or any insight into where she'd gone. The police then found out about Jenna's second phone, which of course her parents didn't know about, as I've already told you. So they tracked the pings of this phone, and the last ping was in Fairburn, Georgia. And I mean, the pings cover an area of like 600 yards, meters or something like that. I don't really know the specifics, but it is a huge area, and it is surrounded by trees, woods, brush. It's just literally super overgrown, super huge, and the perfect place to dump a body, as one of the inspectors said. They did searches, but obviously it is huge. There's several hundred acres, and so easy with it being so overgrown and such a vast space to actually miss something, and they just didn't find anything despite all of the searches they did on it. It also had a major highway going into it, and it had these little dirt tracks running off it that if you didn't know existed, you wouldn't even notice, kind of thing. So if somebody took Jenna and then went down one of those dirt tracks and and murdered her and took her body in there, you know, we may never find it, or maybe 10-20 years down the line someone will find something. It's just, I'm not saying that she's been murdered because obviously I don't know, but potentially she could have been, and potentially her body is in that area. And then it's really strange that her car was literally 30 miles away. It was picked up on a license registration detector thing, and that was 30 miles away at the same time that her phone was pinging in this wooded forest area. So obviously she couldn't be in two places at once. Was she with her phone? Was she with the car? Or was she not with any of them? I truly believe that she was more likely with the phone, because the car being all them miles away and then the seat fully back, it just, my personal opinion makes me believe more that she was in those woods with her phone. And the thing with phone pings is that you need to get lucky, and it needs to sort of receive some data or send out some data to get a ping. And luckily, you know, that did happen when they got the ping, but after that there was just nothing. Whether the phone was turned off, lost battery, who knows, and then they just couldn't find anything else from that. The police and family pulled off all her chats, all her conversations, things like that, and actually found out that some person was actually messaging Jenna that night. But this person has never been identified, their identity has never been revealed. Although what was revealed is that it seemed like this person was really trying to convince Jenna to leave her parents' house and go back to her apartment. And because there were so many phone calls that Jenna made and so many different people that she actually spoke to, they just haven't been able to identify who this person was, despite them possibly knowing or holding some answers to what happened to Jenna that night. Basically, Jenna's case just ran cold. They had no leads, they had no information, they had no nothing. Her family continues to hold out hope. I mean, this happened in 2017, so You know, it wasn't even that long ago, really, like 4 years now. They hired a private investigator. They continue to follow every lead that they can. And a reward was also put up with regards to a case. But someone out there must know something. So, I mean, some people believe that she was kidnapped from a parent's house that night. Some people believe that it was a burglary gone wrong with the tapestry going missing, but then again, there was nothing else gone missing. Others believe that it was just an opportunist. And then there's the theory that somebody who was trying to persuade her to come out. As I said, Jenna was a very vulnerable person, and she was very gullible. So maybe if this person's pressurizing her to go back to her apartment, maybe she did. Maybe she didn't grab anything, thinking she'd just be a few minutes and, you know, wouldn't actually be that long. And then, you know, she met foul play or something. I don't know. I also seen that Jenna had a boyfriend at the time that actually split up that day on the 18th. You know, she went to visit him. They ended up breaking up. And he said some derogatory things about her, which are totally unfounded. And, you know, there's no evidence to actually confirm that those were a thing. Why he even said that about her, I don't know. But yeah, basically that's it. There's no solid evidence as to where she went. She literally was house sitting and then she vanished. And that's that. We don't know anything more. She's been missing now for 4 years. Her parents just really, really want her home. Her family miss her so much. And I just truly hope that one day we find some information as to what happened to Jenna. If you have any information on this case, please contact the authorities and let them know. Please, please do that. But yeah, that is the end of the case. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for similar content. Anyway guys, that's all I have today on the case of Jenna Van Gelderen. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.